Good morning. I'm pleased to declare Quinnipiac University's 2018 commencement exercises for the School of Communications officially open. Would everyone please stand for the national anthem? Please remain standing after the national anthem for the invocation. The national anthem will be performed by Nick Fradiani Sr., who is the father of American Idol champion and Guilford native Nick Fradiani.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, who brought stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The invocation will be delivered by Rabbi Rena Judd.
Thanks, Mark. Welcome. We come to this moment fluffed and puffed with joy and excitement, with pride and love. We thank you, our cherished children, embracing you with years of tears, for bringing us to here, to this most special moment. We thank you, our beloved God, for nourishing and sustaining us, for loving us all, and for bringing us to now. Let the ceremony begin.
Please be seated. I'd like to acknowledge the platform party, which includes trustees, university administrators and representatives, university clergy and deans, as well as our speaker, an honorary degree recipient, whom we will meet shortly. It is now my honor to present Dr. John L. Leahy, president of Quinnipiac University, who will bring you greetings on behalf of the university community.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to all of you on this joyous occasion. To our graduates, class of 2018, I want to add a special welcome and my heartiest congratulations to each and every one of you. You know, you may be my final graduating class, the class of 2018, but we saved the best for last. The class of 2018 is not only, in my view, the best and the brightest in my 31 years as president, but I dare say you're the best and the brightest in the entire 89-year history of Quinnipiac University. During your years at Quinnipiac, you have made all of us very proud. While social scientists and the media often portray your generation as excessively self-centered and less concerned about helping others, the Quinnipiac class of 2018 has clearly disproven that characterization. More than any other class, the class of 2018 has volunteered on hundreds of projects to raise money for the sick and the impoverished and to help those who are less fortunate. Many of our graduates participated in community service to respond to and learn about the needs of our local, regional, national, and international communities. The big event is a student-run project that brought together more than 1,500 students this year to provide more than 4,500 hours of direct services, such as cleanup and beautification projects for local public parks and nonprofit organizations. Philanthropy events, such as Q-Thon, Relay for Life, blood drives, engaged thousands of students in raising money and supplies for a children's hospital, the American Cancer Society, and the Red Cross. Many of you participated in reading stories to children at local schools, libraries, and preschools. Our 21 fraternities and sororities, which I might add make up over 30% of the total student body here at Quinnipiac University. Those fraternities and sororities participated in community service projects, including service at elementary schools and nonprofits. It raised thousands of dollars for local and global charities. Many of today's graduates have traveled nationally and internationally to Nicaragua, Guatemala, Barbados, and the Dominican Republic to work with community members to confront community challenges, assisting rural school teachers and healthcare workers, families of children with special needs, small business owners, and grassroots organizations. The class of 2018 has also, and in particular, has excelled academically. 70 awards will be given out this weekend, honoring seniors for their outstanding success in the classroom. This class has also achieved an extremely high graduation rate and the highest levels ever, let me repeat that, the highest levels ever of cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude academic honors. A record number of you are also going on to pursue graduate degrees in various fields of study, including journalism, dental school, law school, medical school, and a variety of PhD programs. Today's graduates also displayed outstanding leadership within the Quinnipiac community, and no one better exemplified the leadership roles you took on than Ryan Lynch, who served as your student body president this year. I very much enjoyed working with Ryan, particularly in his role as a student representative on the Quinnipiac University Board of Trustees. Class of 2018, as you look back on all of your accomplishments, I'm sure that you will agree with me that you would not be graduating today without the help and support of two very important groups, the faculty at Quinnipiac and your families. So graduates, please rise and express your appreciation to the faculty seated in front of you and your parents and families seated all around you. Class of 2018, you have certainly left your mark on Quinnipiac University, and for that we thank you. And I predict you will leave an even greater mark on the world that awaits you. Again, congratulations and best wishes to each and every one of you.
Please be seated. Thank you. It's now my honor to introduce Mark Contreras, Dean of the School of Communications.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the School of Communications, I'd like to welcome all of the families, honored guests, and graduates to celebrate the class of 2018. In particular, I'd like to recognize President John Leahy, whose 31-year tenure at Quinnipiac has been truly transformational. Under his leadership, the School of Communications became a distinct independent school in the year 2000, and we're all grateful for your efforts and advocacy throughout these past 18 years. Thank you, President Leahy. So to the graduates, what can you look forward to as you face the world armed with a communications degree from Quinnipiac in 2018? First, storytelling and content creation have never been in higher demand throughout the country. The proliferation of ways Americans consume content, whether it's on tablets, mobile phones, streaming devices, and who knows what next year, have created limitless opportunities for people equipped with the skills and experiences you now possess. Whether you've become a gifted designer, a great strategic communicator, a curious media studies major, a talented filmmaker, or a tenacious journalist, the world is hungry for what you have to offer. Second, LinkedIn, the internet professional networking site, just this April released a study of their database which contains tens of millions of people, employers, and trends. The study looked at the gap between what all employers need and what skills their employees possess. After engineering skills, the second biggest gap between what companies want from their employees and what their employees have are communication skills, writing effectively, communicating ideas persuasively, distilling complex ideas clearly, and working well within teams. Which leads me to my final point. Your class and your generation can make mighty contributions to our world. Yes, you've now got great skill sets, and yes, the world needs them. But your generation has a unique opportunity to show past and future generations how to lift up our civil discourse through your optimism, curiosity, and hard work. After getting to know many of you during this year, I have great confidence that this class, the class of 2018, can lift us all. As I approach the completion of my first full year of dean of the school, it's become very clear to me, as I know it's clear to each of our graduates, that we're blessed by the commitment of our faculty and our staff. Please stay in touch. Shoot us a text, send us an email, or however else you want to stay in touch. Know that we will all be celebrating your future successes and look forward to welcoming you into an increasingly engaged community of School of Communications alumni. Best of luck.
I now ask Jarl Mohn, Amy Walker, and President Leahy to come forward for the conferral of the honorary degree.
Jarl Mohn, you consider NPR to be a national treasure, and you regard your role as president and CEO as more of a mission than a job. You work with 900 plus member stations with 34 million weekly listeners across the country to create a more informed public. These days, when trust in the news media is on the decline, and some people prefer commentary-laced news geared to their own personal beliefs, NPR remains a reliable beacon that benefits from your strong leadership. Your 20-year radio career includes on-air work, programming, and serving as the general manager and owner of a group of stations. You also created E! Entertainment Television, acting as president and CEO, and you are the former executive vice president and general manager of MTV and VH1, and the founding president and CEO of Liberty Digital. Prior to joining NPR, you served on the board of trustees of Southern California Public Radio for more than a decade. All things considered, and in appreciation of your passion for quality journalism and your commitment to ensuring that public radio thrives in this competitive media landscape, Quinnipiac University is pleased to confer upon you an honorary Doctor of Humane Letters this 20th day of May, 2018.
By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
It's my privilege to introduce our commencement speaker, Jarl Mohn.
Do these things make me look fat? Thanks, Professor Walker. Thank you, Provost Thompson, President Leahy, Board of Trustees, and of course, my old friend Dean Contreras. Mark Contreras and I worked together at the E.W. Scripps Company a number of years ago. I just can't get used to calling him Dean. But now he's going to have to call me Doctor. So, and I want to congratulate you, the graduating class of Quinnipiac University School of Communications. I'm honored to be with all 161 of you here today to celebrate and honor you and your accomplishments. Some of you have studied film, TV, media arts. Some of you have studied public relations, graphic and interactive design, advertising, integrated communications, media studies, and some of you have studied journalism. And you've really chosen well. As you just heard Dean Contreras say, these are great areas to pursue professionally. There's a huge need for them. And I hope that you have learned that it isn't just the technical skills in these areas that you're going to need. What's going to really set you apart and ahead are your powers of creativity, your critical thinking, your new ideas. That's going to be your secret sauce, and it's going to be something that machine learning and artificial intelligence are going to have a really hard time replacing. Now, I'd like to see a show of hands, those of you that study journalism. All right, great. Congratulations, and good on you for pursuing this path. I hope you aren't discouraged, as your Dean Contreras say. It's a tough time in the world of journalism for many reasons. The craft has been given a bad rap by many. It's also been squeezed economically. As you know, newspapers have shut down or cut back dramatically. Radio has consolidated on the commercial side. Local television news drifts toward crime and fires. And cable television news has become sensationalistic or ideological. So we need you. We need you a lot. A civil society needs you. And we hope you stick with it. And we hope you commit yourselves to the principles of accuracy and of fairness. I consider myself hugely lucky and honored because I get to work with 860 incredible people at NPR who are deeply, deeply committed to those principles. And I'm thankful for this honorary degree. It's my first. In fact, it's my only degree. I never finished college. Who knew? I was asked to leave. It's a true story. It's not as bad as it sounds. I was having too much fun playing rock and roll records on the radio, and I stopped going to classes. You know those grades that turn into incompletes? And then the incompletes turn into Fs? And then you get the letter that says you're on academic probation, and then the next letter says, bye-bye. And that's what happened to me, and I never finished. As my adult daughters like to say, Dad, imagine what you could have done with your career if you had finished school. So today we celebrate you for doing that. And this day when you officially end one chapter of your life and you begin another one. My job today is to give you a handful of things to think about and ponder, and a few of you actually may do that, I hope. We're going to take a departure from the traditional commencement speech. First, I'm not going to give any advice at all. It's presumptuous of me to assume that I have any answers for you because I have had, by most people's standards, a reasonably successful life. Some people assume I have some answers or better answers to life's burning questions, and I'll tell you, I don't. Many of us that are perceived as successes don't either. What drives each of us can be very, very different. Our tolerance for risk, the things that we need, the things that motivate us, the things that make us happy. Each of us at different moments of our lives are going to want and need different things. So I'm not a fan of advice. Most people don't ask for it. You certainly didn't ask me for it, and people rarely take it to heart. So if I drift into advice inadvertently, just ignore it. We're going to dispense also with some of the classic commencement speech tropes that are in almost every commencement speech. Follow your passion. Make a difference in the world. Strive for greatness. And that thing about sunscreen. They're all good. They're all true. You've heard them before. You don't need me repeating them today. I bring you fresh material. What I would like to do is share just a handful of stories about 3 themes that have been persistent in my life. You might find them relevant, maybe you will, at least hopefully interesting. And these 3 persistent themes in my life are dumb luck, crushing failure, and the importance and power of being delusional. So let's start with being delusional. I knew when I was 12 years old I wanted to be a rock and roll disc jockey. I couldn't have picked a dumber career. I began my radio career when I was 15 years old. I couldn't even get a job playing records. I worked at this rinky-dink little radio station in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, in the middle of a cow pasture, WBUX. My first job was running religious tapes on Sunday for the local churches and preachers. We called it the God Squad. And every half hour, I got to do a station identification, which I would practice all half hour saying in my tiny 15-year-old voice, which sounded actually like I was 13. I would open the microphone and say, WBUX Doylestown, and start the next tape. I made Minnie Mouse sound macho. Well, eventually, the station grew desperate enough to have me fill in as a disc jockey and play records. I was terrible. I was dreadful on the air. And one day, the general manager, who was actually a pretty good guy, called me into his office and he said, look, you might want to think about a different career. That just pissed me off. But it made me work harder. And of course, I thought I sounded fantastic. I used to listen to the disc jockeys on the air in New York and Philadelphia. I was completely convinced in my 15-year-old mind that I was every bit as good, if not better, than they. I was totally delusional. I sucked. Everybody knew it, except me. And I told all my friends that by the time I was 25, I was going to be on the air at one of those big New York radio stations. Ultimately, I did improve slowly. I kind of worked my way up one station after another. And when I was 25, as I had stated when I was 15, I got hired for afternoon drive at WNBC, for those of you in New York, WNBC in New York. Had I known how truly awful I was, I probably would have given up. And that's what's convinced me of the power of big goals. One of my many regrets as I've gotten older, and man, do I have a list of regrets, is that as I've gotten older, I've become much more realistic and less delusional. I wish it weren't so. I want to shift to a story about dumb luck. A couple of years ago, as I was having dinner with some friends of mine, all very successful folks, someone in the group asked if anyone in the group had had a moment, that lucky break earlier in their career that set them on their way. And it was interesting because everybody in the group had at least one story. Mine was about offering a friend of mine a place to stay when I was on the air in Louisville, Kentucky. A friend of mine worked for a competing radio station, came to town, hadn't had an apartment yet, and I said, why don't you stay with me till you find a place? So he did. One night, he's out, the phone rings, I answer the phone, and I start talking to this guy who was calling to speak to the friend that was staying with me. He was a young program director at a station in Pittsburgh. We became friends as a result of that phone call. We stayed in touch, we talked regularly, we ultimately met. The guy's name was Bob Pittman. He went on to create MTV, he ran AOL, he merged it with Time Warner, and now he runs iHeartRadio. 4 years after that phone call, he's the guy that hired me to work at that station in New York. And 9 years after that, he hired me to come and run VH1 and MTV in New York. We've been friends for 45 years. It would have never happened had I not invited my friend to stay at my house, or if I hadn't answered the call. So to me, it's a metaphor. I still use it today. If the phone rings, answer it. Or as Yogi Berra once said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Every one of my friends had one of those stories. And I've been lucky in my life, professionally and personally, to have many of these moments of luck, as you will too. I met my wife on a blind date. She walked into it was a blind date I didn't even want to go on. Some people talked me into it. She walked into a restaurant and I realized I'd seen her at a party the night before and wanted to meet her. So luck gave me a second shot. That was 38 years ago. And I think things like this happen to everyone. Not everyone sees those moments, and not everyone actually seizes those moments. So I ask you to think about those things as you experience them. Branch Rickey, the legendary New York Yankees manager, once said, "Luck is the residue of design." And I agree with that, and know that you're going to have moments of luck. It might be a chance encounter, a unique opportunity. I'm hoping you recognize it when they happen. My final thought is about crushing failure. A few years ago, I was having drinks with a friend of mine who is an investment banker. It was that period of time when the investment banking business was contracting and retrenching, and she was very upset. She had just been laid off with a bunch of other investment bankers. She had gone to great schools. She had never failed at anything. She had never been laid off. And I said, you know, it's interesting. I've never been laid off myself. But I said, you're really lucky. And she was kind of stunned. She said, why? I said, well, I've never been laid off, but I've been fired. I said, in fact, I've been fired 3 times. I haven't been singled out. I haven't been part of a group. I've been singled out by companies and said, it's you. You step forward. We don't want you to darken our doorway again. The first time I got fired was when I was 23, not much older than you. I was working at a station in Miami, Y100. I shouldn't have been hired there. What I was doing on the air, my shtick didn't really fit in. It didn't sound like what everybody else was doing. I should have never taken the job. I lasted 3 months. And I got the axe, and I was devastated because I had never been fired before. I ended up moving back to Louisville, Kentucky, which is where I'd been prior, with my tail between my legs, just so I could be back amongst friends in a comfort zone. And a few months, working for a really tiny radio station that wasn't very successful. And a few months later, I was offered the job there as program director. And that's when I discovered that I was even better in management than I was on the air. And 3 years after that, the owners of the station offered me the opportunity to become partners with them in the ownership of a group of radio stations. I would have never taken the job had I not been fired at that station in Miami. It opened the door for me. Same thing happened in 1989. I was running MTV. Some of you may be old enough to remember this. For the Video Music Awards one year, I put on Andrew Dice Clay. You're going to take away my degree now? He was supposed to keep it clean. And any of you that are fans of stand-up comedy, you know when you look in a comedian's eye when it's not working. And it wasn't working. And you could see, I was in the 3rd row at Universal Amphitheater, and I could see in his eyes, he knew it wasn't working. So he takes a pause, and he goes back to his old shtick, doing his obscene lyrics and jokes on live television. And the place goes wild. The place goes completely nuts. We had the highest ratings we ever had for the Video Music Awards, and I lost my job. You're not supposed to laugh at that. It's sad. I loved my job. I was devastated. It was a huge part of my identity. It shouldn't have been, but it was. But 2 days later, I get a call from HBO. They wanted me to come run a cable channel that they were managing called Movie Time. They'd been trying to fill the job for 9 months. The place was a total piece of crap. No one would take the job. I was desperate, they were desperate, and they hired me to become CEO. I got an ownership stake in the cable network, so I took the job. We relaunched it as E! I stayed there for 9 years. We grew it into an incredibly valuable business, and it was a career maker for me. I would have never done it, but for Andrew Dice Clay. So if you don't let it crush you, or you don't let it disable you, failure can be your friend. It's forced me to make changes I would have never made, and they ultimately paid off. And it's guaranteed. I hate to say it, failure is guaranteed. Everyone here is going to fail, more than once, personally and professionally. I wish it weren't so. The question is, how are you going to manage your failures? Does failure become your narrative, or does it become your catalyst? You're going to have many successes as well. And this one today is a big one. I want to congratulate you for that, for what you've done. You've committed your time and energy to get to this day. Graduating college is considered a true milestone of transitioning to adulthood, which I never did. My wish for you today as you head off and you take your victory lap is that you are able to find deep meaning in what you choose to spend your time on, and that you find deep meaning on who you choose to spend your time with. The meaning that comes with your family, your loved ones, your friends, your colleagues at work, your neighbors in the communities that you're part of. They can give great meaning to you, and you have a responsibility to give great meaning to them. Stuff to ponder, I hope you do. I wish right now I had a little shot of tequila up here with me so that I could toast you appropriately, but they told me I can't. We've spent a few moments on failure, on being lucky, the power of delusion. I hope you practice delusion. Just remember, if people are not laughing at your ideas and your plans and your goals, you're not thinking big enough. Quinnipiac School of Communications, class of 2018, congratulations to you.
Thank you, Jarl. It's now my privilege to turn over the program to Mark Contreras, Dean of the School of Communications.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Will the candidates for degree of Bachelor of Arts from the School of Communications please approach the stage? Marshals, please direct the candidates to the platform. All right. Kyle Thomas Adams. You. Richard Anthony Agostonini. Brianna Nicole Alicea. Michael Joseph Amato. You. Matthew Joseph Ambrose. We have an award winner, Alexia Maria Andrews. Alexia Andrews is the recipient of the Overall Achievement in Advertising and Integrated Communications Award. Through her studies, Alexia has exemplified an exceptional student, earning her membership in both Lambda Pi Eta, the National Communications Honor Society, and Pi Sigma Alpha, the National Political Science Honor Society. As a copywriter for the agency, a writing peer tutor for the QU Learnings Commons, a founding member of AdSpot, and a leader in group campaign work, Alexia brings a positive and creative energy to her work and is always working toward the highest standards of achievement. Congratulations, Alexia. Rachel Elizabeth Antos. Caroline Elizabeth Ayub. Hannah Nicole Bailey. Tamar Elise Bailey. Adam Bellamy. Mary Rose Christine Bevins. Jamie Elizabeth Billman. Michael Joseph Bonavita Jr. Mackenzie Talbot Bradwell. Michael Brennan. Christina Marie Bruno. Lane Elizabeth Burke. Janelle Colley Cadigan. Paul Caracciolo III. Thank you. Connor Thomas Carey. Caroline Ann Carpenter. How are you? Anna Elizabeth Castro. Oh, how are you? Velvet Naima Chestnut. Ryan Patrick Chichester. Matthew C. Citron. Alexandra Beryl Clark. Kelly Marie Collins. Andrea Cala Cordero. Filosmar Cordero. Angela M. Kostakis. Alex Tiernan Denner. Joseph R. DeRosa. Kayla DeStefan. Darcy DiModugno. Allison Christine Donert. Allison Greer DeRemus. Mary Veronica Dunford. Travis Lee Dunham. Alex Dylan Ehrlich. Ellis V. Einhorn. Samantha Jill Eisenberg. Morgan Hunter Emburi. Jennifer Allison Enfield. How you doing? Nathaniel Armando Ferracci. Lauren Anna Fitzpatrick. Lee Friedman. Justin T. Gachon. How are you, Aya? We have an award winner, Aya M. Galal. Aya Galal of Prospect, Connecticut is the recipient today of 2 awards. The Alumni Association Academic Achievement Award is made possible by the Alumni Association National Board of Governors in honor of the student from each of the undergraduate schools who has attained the highest scholastic standing. The Overall Achievement in Journalism Award is given to a senior who has displayed outstanding academic and leadership achievement during her time at Quinnipiac. Aya has excelled as a double major in political science and journalism, where she set the standard for hard work, good writing, mature and fair reporting, and team leadership. She also served as president of Quinnipiac's Muslim Student Association and was honored as the Multicultural Student Leader of the Year. She was a news director for Q30 Television, where she won several awards for her story. She is currently working full-time for WTNH-TV News 8 in New Haven. Congratulations, Aya. Camila Gasparini Costa. Mazel Brandy Genfi. Shauna Elizabeth Golden. Maximilian C. Gomes. Hi. Lindsay Page Good. That's all right. We have another award winner, Matthew Christopher Gran. Matthew is the recipient of the Joseph Cardinal Bernardine Distinguished Service Award. This award recognizes a graduating senior who has contributed significantly to the spiritual, religious, and moral welfare of the Catholic community here at Quinnipiac. Matthew has been a leader within the community who has been willing to assist the younger students around him. As a key member of the music ministry, Matt has been eager to teach each and every week, to share his talent and love of music, playing his guitar, and helping to create a sense and spirit of beauty. As the community has moved into the new Center for Religion this year, Matt has consistently helped make it a special and spiritual place to meet and pray. Congratulations, Matthew. Julianne Guarino. Catherine Ann Healy. Where are you? Imani Janae Height. Haley Elizabeth Hoffman. Stephen Giacomo Hudock. Ashley Lauren Imlej. Jacob Paul Jones. Ashley Rebecca Jordan. Afsha Kassam. Autumn Bell Katz. Madison Taylor Kay. Liliana Yvette Kierson. Haley Kathleen Kelleher. Good to see you. Nicole Sarah Kessler. Owen James Kingsley. Alexis Nicole Konstantakis. Catherine Elizabeth Koretsky. Reed Dylan Kramer. Jessica Leslie Kravitz, who is an award winner. Jessica Kravitz is the recipient of the Overall Achievement in Public Relations Award. During her tenure at Quinnipiac, Jessica has demonstrated outstanding scholarship, earning her membership in Lambda Pi Eta, the National Communication Honor Society. Through the Honor Society, Jessica has submitted a solo-authored research paper for review for presentation at the National Communication Association's annual conference later this year. The quality of her work both inside and outside of the classroom and her passion for public relations have left a lasting impression on everyone she has worked with while pursuing her degree. Congratulations, Jessica. We have another award winner, Ashley Jordan Kulik. Ashley Kulik is the recipient of the Outstanding Achievement in Graphic and Interactive Design. This honor is presented to a graduating senior in GID who has shown academic achievement, community engagement, and a high standard of creativity and innovation. Her clear mastery of design research, methods, and techniques across all medium has been complemented by her strong leadership in the classroom. Most recently, she led a team to create a prototype application for an internal communication tool for Sikorsky aircraft. Outside of the classroom, Ashley has completed a number of internships in the tri-state area, is chapter president of Connecticut Gamma, and an active member of the AIGA student group and Lambda Pi Eta. Congratulations, Ashley. How are you? Labat. Dora G. Labat. Got to reload. Patrick Thomas Lacey. Alana La Preciosa. Katie A. Lepore. Stephanie Lercara. John Anthony Lodovico. Nicolette Lombardo. Amanda Ann Mahoney. Grace Marie Manthe. Dylan Matthew Marcello. Gina Lee Marino. Melissa Ann Martin. Reagan Elizabeth Martin. April Martinez. Rachel Nicole Mason. Jaime Ray Matos. Teresa Ann McCann. Mitchell Patrick McGowan. Emmanuel Medina. Alexander James Merchant. Stephanie Lee Miller. Claire Joan Millerick. Maximilian Joseph Molsky. Cliff A. Nadel. Louis A. Napolitano. Jordan Dana Novak. Carly Jill Nussbaum. Thank you. Christine Marie O'Connor. Brenna Rose Oricoli. Molly Elizabeth Pelosi. Gabriela Jana Perone. Nice hat. Catherine McGregor Pollock. Miriam Rose Posner. Samantha Catherine Prevost. Stacy Julie Podolov. Amanda Rose Polano. David William Perkert. Lindsay Rosemary Pytel. Carly Morgan Regalbuto. Liana Mary Regina. We have an award winner, Dejanay Giovanna Richardson. Dejanay Richardson is the recipient of the Outstanding Achievement in Media Studies Award and the School of Communications Overall Achievement Award. These honors are presented to a graduating senior from the Media Studies program and in the School of Communications who has shown academic achievement, made significant contributions to the program, campus life, and/or shown excellent leadership qualities on campus. During her time at Quinnipiac, Dejanay completed 3 impressive internships, studied abroad in Barcelona, and was active in Q30, Dance Fusion, and the Black Student Union. She also excelled in her courses, demonstrating a high level of creativity in her class projects, like her original rap about healthcare that she delivered at a university-wide teach-in event hosted by her Black Lives Matters class. We don't have time for that today, but I'd love to see that. School of Communications is proud, very proud, to recognize Dejanay for being an outstanding representative of all of our programs. Congratulations, Dejanay. Caitlin Mary Rydell. Connor Roach. Drew Quentin Rodenheiser. Carly Elizabeth Ross. Ian J. Ross. Nikki Taylor Rubin. William Dillinger Ruocco. Victoria Elaine Rutuliano. Anna Lily Sackel. Alexis Lee Salomon. Julius Anthony Saporito. Emily Ann Sarno. Connor Roy Sauer. Morgan Taylor Sawitsky. Brandon Taylor Siebert. Sabrina Isabel Sergio. Markel Elizabeth Shea. David W. Sheets. Salvatore Siciliano. Melissa Lee Sola. James Anthony Sorbara. Gianna Marie Sorrentino. Ariana Spinogatti. Ryan Spitz. All right, thank you. Matthew Dominic Stefano. Casey Ann Steinhardt. Bradley Prescott Strauss. All right. Daquan Jabbar Stuckey. Remy Marie Sullivan. Jianhan Sun. Timothy Scott Swinnerton. Right. Jaylene Tapia. Jordan Andrew Thompson. Christopher Harold Thorkelson. Michaela Toledo. Kendall Grace Trenchard. Daniela Marie Trivelli. Lauren Hope Tuckman. Benjamin Michael Zodikov. Angela Grace Varney. Beverly Alma Wakiaga. Jacqueline Thomas Walsh. Andrew Jacob Weiss. Meredith Wentz. Daniel S. West. We have an award winner, Tatiana Youssef. Tatiana is the recipient of the Benjamin Page Award in Philosophy. The award is named in honor of Professor Benjamin Page, who demonstrated extraordinary commitment to philosophy at Quinnipiac for more than 40 years, and is given to the graduating student who has similarly contributed to upholding the value of philosophy at Quinnipiac. Tatiana is minoring in philosophy, and her academic performance has been recognized by membership in Pi Sigma Tau, the Philosophy Academic Honor Society. She has notably connected philosophical concepts and theories to her campus action and student organizations as a thoughtful advocate for university initiatives to achieve greater diversity, inclusion, and justice. Congratulations, Tatiana. Ian Gray Zeitlin. Alexa Marie Zioli. They all off? Okay. Mr. President, I have the honor to present from the School of Communications candidates
for the Bachelor of
for
Arts.
the Bachelor of
Please
Arts
stand.
from the School of Communications.
Please rise.
Please stand.
Even their parents and family members can communicate. So, by the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations to all of you.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts from the School of Communications please approach the stage? Marshals, please direct the candidates to the platform. Ross Max Cohen. Laura Emily Grasso. Joelle Marie Iovine. Yep. And we have an award winner, Matthew Kravitsky, is the recipient of the Outstanding Achievement in Film, Television, and Media Arts Award. The award is given to an outstanding graduating senior from the film program who has consistently exhibited all-around excellence in his or her academic and produced work. Matt has been tireless in his commitment to his fellow students, unfailingly offering his time, energy, and formidable expertise to support any peer who might be struggling with understanding concepts or completing their class projects. He is a young man who has worked tirelessly toward perfecting his craft as a filmmaker, and he leaves Quinnipiac with a rich trove of exceptionally produced films. Congratulations, Matt. Brooke Elizabeth Momsen. Richard Dempsey Olson. Jason Daniel Ruboy. Michael Douglas Zuxworth. Will the candidates for Bachelor of Fine Arts please stand? Mr. President, I have the honor to present from the School of Communications candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts.
By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations to all of you.
It is now my privilege to introduce our student speaker, Jaylene Tapia. Jaylene is a public relations major from Middle Village, New York. Jaylene.
Dean Contreras, as well as President Leahy and members of the Platform Party. And good morning, everyone. I would like to be the 47th person today to officially welcome you to Quinnipiac University's School of Communications undergraduate ceremony for the class of 2018. Today marks the first day of the rest of our lives. I'm totally kidding. That is so cliche, and that's not the kind of speech that I'm going to give us. Today, I'm going to tell you what I think is important for you to hear. 7 years ago, Stephen Colbert gave a commencement speech to the graduating class at Northwestern University. Yes, I did Google other speeches before I wrote my own. But he said something that really resonated with me, and I thought I'd share it with you all. Life is an improvisation. You have no idea what's going to happen next, and you're mostly just making things up as you go along. Raise your hand if that's how you were pretty much all your time here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Here's my story. My sophomore year, on the last day of spring break, I got a text message letting me know that my younger brother had been shot. 2 hours later, I found out he was dead, and it felt as though the ground had completely collapsed right beneath my feet. I took a week off to grieve with my family, but then I came back, and believe me when I tell you, that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It was really, really hard to focus, and I wasn't sure if I could even stay here grieving on my own. But the thing is, I wasn't on my own. I had professors that were doing their best to teach me the skills that I needed to excel in my career. I had my friends who saw me in my pain and refused to let me suffer alone. And I had my family who worked so incredibly hard just to get me here. I wasn't working this hard for no reason. This is what Quinnipiac has given me. In no way did I ever expect I'd have to go through something so awful during my time here, but it also taught me how lucky I was. Quinnipiac brought me to professors that actually cared about my well-being, to people that proved their companionship to me when I needed it most, to opportunities that I could not pass up, even when in that moment I so desperately wanted to. 4 years ago, we came into this place as teenagers having no idea what to expect. And whether or not you had the experience you thought you were going to have really isn't important. We made it. We made it. Yeah. We made it to the spot that seemed so ridiculously far away. The spot that so many others wanted to get to, but couldn't. And we did this as a community. We did this together. What's important is what you take from the time that you've spent here and the knowledge that you gained as this all comes to an end. Do not take this chance you were given for granted. Life really is an improvisation. We really don't have any idea what's going to happen next, so live your life to the absolute fullest. Take advantage of all the opportunities you're given. Stand tall and strong, and do not look back. I always try my best to stay humble, and I am, of course. But I'm also pretty damn proud of myself. You all should be really damn proud of yourselves. It's been an absolute privilege to spend this time here with you all at QU, and I would wish you success, but I don't have to, because I know that as Bobcats, success is inevitable. So congratulations, everybody, and may your hats fly as high as your dreams.
Wow. Thank you, Jaylene. It's my privilege now to introduce Elizabeth Natale, a Quinnipiac alumna, to officially welcome our graduates as alumna. Elizabeth. There you are.
I am here. Thank you, Dean. Graduates, please rise. I'm Liz Natali, and I am a proud Quinnipiac graduate of the class of 1979 with a degree in English and mass communications. Back then, mass communications was a major and not a school, so Quinnipiac has come quite far. Jaylene was saying that she is grateful to Quinnipiac, and so am I, for so many things, the achievements that I've had in my life, and to my husband, Bob, also of the class of 1979, the love of my life, to whom I've been married for 31 years. In a moment, I will ask you to move your tassel from the right to the left side of your cap. This simple act signifies your transition from student to alumnus, and I hope the continuation of your unique, meaningful, and lifelong relationship with Quinnipiac. And so it is my privilege to extend my congratulations and to welcome you as fellow alumni and members of the Quinnipiac Alumni Association. Graduates, please move your tassels. You look great. Congratulations.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Before I reintroduce Rabbi Rena Judd, who will deliver the benediction, I have a few announcements. Only the platform party and faculty will recess out. Our graduates and families can proceed to the Rocky Top Student Center next door for a reception. Transportation for those who need assistance is available. Once outside, you will see signs for the shuttles on the left-hand side. Please stand. It is now my privilege to ask Rabbi Rena Judd, University Rabbi, to please come forward and deliver the benediction.
Dear, wonderful communication students, congratulations. In the name of all that is holy, it is with hearts full of joy that we pray that you will be loved and cherished for what you do, for what you believe, and for who you are. That the wisdom and knowledge you have learned will be used to make our world more merciful and as a tool in the elevation of all humanity. We who love you dearly pray wherever you work or whomever you marry, may those with whom you spend your time validate and appreciate the divine and holy spark that makes you special. And we all together pray that God will forever smile on your soul and hug you hard. With hearts full of love, we hope you will have a wonderful life. God bless you.
Thank you.